Hey YouTube, this is Southern Purple One and welcome to Boots on the Ground and news you need to know. I appreciate everyone that sends me information. If you have anything to send it to Southern Purple One, Southern Purple, just the number one at yahoo.com. I would appreciate it, and I know the viewers out there love to get information to really know what's happening in the economy because the government is lying to us hands down, and I have the information, the numbers to prove that. But let's get right into it. Let's just look at the job numbers that came out. Every month this year, they just revised the numbers lower. So if you take the last 3 months, we had a 1.5 million job drop. So they were saying, oh no, the economy is great. The numbers do not lie. They revised every single month so far this year lower. Washington State is having a shortage of license plates, metal plates, and the temps. It seems like we could definitely solve this problem. We had the same problem when COVID was full speed ahead. We're still having this problem. So if you got a tag, don't lose it. Hopefully no one steals it because you're going to have a problem getting a new one. This is from Georgia, and this is the dairy industry. Sad to say, there was a dairy farm. It was a family farm, and they had to close down. They said there was over 40 dairy farms in this county. I think it's Bibb, B-I-B-B County. And this is the last one, and this one is closing down. So sad to see that, but they just couldn't compete. This is a few weeks ago, this lady said, I think it was a lady, a tornado ripped through our area and took out our power. And this was in several small towns in Pennsylvania. I went to turn on our solar battery backup, but the solar system was showing an error and we could not clear it. Fortunately, we had a backup generator. I fired up the generator and got everything going. So the message that they want to bring is check your equipment, and check your equipment. And with the tornado that's threatening Florida, I hope you're stocked up, ready to go. India, which is the largest rice exporter, remember a month ago they had some restrictions on exports of certain variety. Now they're putting more restrictions on every variety of their grains. So this is definitely going to drive up inflation worldwide. They're saying because of the poor harvest and the drought. They also they're looking at an export ban on sugar. So with removing India's crops from the market, definitely going to be harder for poorer countries to survive. Ultimately, will cost people more inflation. You probably heard about the Florida filling stations. They had some bad gas. This person actually suffered some damage. A friend of theirs did. Major damage to an engine. So you might think your gas or diesel you buy is safe. Make sure of it. This person says, it's like this at every store in town. And they're asking if you want a receipt for your purchase. And I've seen that too. Someone, they'll email you a receipt. I don't know if this is to save money or to get you used to not getting a receipt and everything being done digitally. So are you seeing this? Are you seeing that, they're offering a digital receipt or an email receipt? Also, they were talking to a property manager of an apartment building, and they have washing machines there. And they have about 20, washing machines spread out throughout the compound or their facility. And they only have one, spare. And they said they can't get any more spares, so if they go down, they can replace one, and then after that, they'll have some issues. This is Boots on the Ground, Canadian layoffs. My husband got laid off for the 4th time since the beginning of this craziness, and I guess I'm referring to the COVID craziness. Good news, the Lord provided another opportunity within 24 hours, and he got a job, and he's going to start today. But his problem is he's working away from the house, and it's a fly-out job, so he's gone for 14 days, and then I guess he comes home. They did say a lot of guys got laid off, and this is in the construction in the summer. And they say this is not normal. Usually in summertime in Canada, you have to get everything done because the winter comes. But there are more job layoffs than normal in the construction area. I have heard and confirmed it from a former Norfolk Southern worker that the whole rail line was shut down. And this was yesterday. It's because of a computer problem. And you can see some articles about it They're not saying it was a cyber attack. I have not heard what the reason was, but this was causing problems with trains traveling with freight and also Amtrak with people. This person says, I get a popular drug called Lipitor, and my pharmacy didn't have it. I had to drive around to go find it, but finally I got it filled. But they were also talking and said a lot of people are short on medicine. ADHD medicine is very hard to find. And they're saying a lot of this medicine is made in China and India, and that is 100% true. If it's not made in China, the ingredients that they combine is made in China or India. This person says Dollar General issues from the store. I live in a small town, about 2,000 people. They're near, I'll just say, Oklahoma City. It's 20 miles to the nearest grocery store. Our Dollar General dairy cooler has been down for almost 2 months. Now the meat coolers have been down for weeks. Trying to email Dollar General on their website, had issues, so I couldn't figure out why. They say first they were waiting on parts, and now they say it is a Dollar General issue. Maybe Dollar General is having financial issues, question mark, and that's what they said. Don't know. Is it spare parts? Is it not profitable for them? Only time will tell. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but still, the company that makes my chainsaw, I have a couple of them, just laid off about, I think, 30% of their workforce, and this would be in their plant in Virginia Beach, Virginia. So it could be up to 550 to 600 workers. Another person sent the same thing in there, but they said they laid off 1,500 workers, and they claimed excessive inventory. And they make the chainsaws and other outdoor power equipment. They told the layoffs could last anywhere from 4 to 16 weeks. Workers were given no advance notice, and they have police on site when the notices were given at the end of the shift. I think this boils down to people are not buying things because they basically are just have enough money to buy the necessities, gas, medicine, and food. This person says our family has a grocery store in Indiana. Our chicken supplier located in Kentucky told us there will be a 25% increase from the previous week. But they also said it's only temporarily. But I don't know if that's the reason, is because of the dozens of Tyson chicken houses in the Midwest that have closed up. So only time will tell. At the facility I work for, and this is a prison system, this person has emailed me many times before, great information, but they said 3 nurses are required to work on the night shift. We typically have only 2 nurses on our shift, and they've been pulling a lot of overtime. By the way, on night shift, that is 2 nurses carrying all the responsibility of caring for inmates, medication, treatments, cancer patient, fight, rape victims, kitchen accidents, and the list goes on. And they care for 1,100 inmates. 2 nurses, 1,100 inmates. That's a lot of responsibility. One would think that this position would be stable and secure. I learned last rotations that their hours have been cut to 36 per week, in addition to placing new job and task demands on them. Speaking with the nurses, they're saying with only being able to work 36 hours, they're going to have some problems trying to keep their license because they will not be able to provide the care they need. So their licenses could be in jeopardy because of subpar service. They said that they're going to quit the penitentiary as soon as possible. They're going to find another job. Currently, there are times when some of the inmates do not receive their medication. This results from 2 nurses getting overwhelmed by an incident such as a fight or an inmate found under the influence or cancer patient vomiting blood. You get the idea. 2 nurses on their own can't do it all. Inmates without their medication can be very rough. Some of them have mental health issues, so they need their medication. For us, the officers, we have a few new hires, but I can only think of 3 that are going to stick it out. Lots of veteran officers are retiring, and ones in the middle ground, like me, are doing the best we can. But lots of middle ground is getting burned out, and we lose one of these people about 1 per month. The inability to properly search the facilities, inmates, and staff because we are so short-staffed has contributed to serious influx of drugs and cell phones. We are often forced into mandatory overtime. So they can't even do searches. So their safety is definitely in jeopardy. Sometimes they have to work night shifts, staying over 2 to 4 hours. Our last search, we got 2 cell phones, a 30-gallon bag of hooch, some K2, some meth, some marijuana. We are experiencing shortages on random weird things like cups and spoons for the chow hall. Those shortages slow down the chow hall line to a crawl, which super irritates the inmates because they don't get fed on time. A few of us are saying that sooner or later the penitentiary that we work in will riot. It's only a matter of time at the rate we are going. If you work in the correctional field, my hat is off to you. I would not be locked in there with a bunch of crazies and criminals. Thank you for what you do. This person says, I live in the South Central Texas area. About 3 months ago, we had to place our mom in an assisted living home in a nearby city, about halfway between Austin and San Antonio. It's a great place, and all the staff from cleaning people up to the administration are wonderful. Mom loves it there. She went in straight from the hospital as a short-term place to go, I guess because she had an accident or she needed it. And they're trying to get her in long-term to get in there. Last week we were notified Mom will be transferred to a new room. However, this is not her long-term room. It is another short-term room in a different wing. They have to move her because the wing of about 12 double rooms she's in is being closed due to staff shortages. They don't have enough people to work. They just don't have enough nurses. The hospital she was in prior to being placed in the assisted living room also had a shortage of nurses. We were told about the nurses and other staff shortages by medical people we knew personally, who also mentioned that there is definitely a medicine shortage also. You're correct, Dave, when you say there is a collapse of the medical system. This is from Northeast Ohio. A couple of my daughters work at a nursing home and were called in to get fitted for an N95 mask. Keep in mind, there's no cases of flu or COVID at their facility and no mask mandate right now, but obviously masks are on the way. This is layoffs happening at my husband's company. It's a large telecommunication company. It has been announced, but it looks like their job is safe for now. I'm making regular trips between Oklahoma and Arizona lately along I-40 for quite some time. Last week I noticed a huge decrease in the amount of semi-trucks and train traffic from Albuquerque to Flagstaff, part of the route that they take. So they're definitely seeing slowdown. My understanding is that train traffic comes from goods supplied by China to the LA and Long Beach port. This may be the result of consumers cutting back on spending, causing businesses to decrease the amount of purchases of goods. This person said, I travel for my job all across my state. I don't know the state. I think it's Oklahoma. The Dollar General are having more bare shelves everywhere from A to Z. And they sent me pictures. Just not a lot of products on the shelves. This person also says, I work a full-time and I was working a 2 part-time job to get everything to make it. Now I only have 1 full-time job and 1 part-time job. The other part-time job they got, I guess it was eliminated or they got laid off from it. This person says, if you're looking for a job, look at the fuel station service industry. There's a big need for pump technicians, heavy maintenance, construction workers, and also tank cleaning technicians. So they say it's a good job, pays good. Also, look at schools. Schools are always needing bus drivers, substitute workers, custodial workers, food service workers. This lady says, I'm in Arizona and I do not need a teaching certificate to be a substitute teacher. And you can accept or reject the phone call when you get it to give you an assignment. So definitely look into it. This person, Destin, Florida, they take vacations there. They've been going there every year. This year, there was a noticeable absence of people, especially young families. All the fast boats were gone from racing around the bay. Also, help wanted signs everywhere. No problems walking into a restaurant and getting a table. Obviously, people do not have play money. You probably heard about the large oil refinery. I think it was the Maranatha Petrol Plant. Severe damage. They don't think they'll be able to get it up and running or fixed. So I don't know what they're going to do, but this will definitely put more pressure on inflation. I've had a contract for work, and I've been on there for over 6 years, and it was not renewed at the end of June. I documented my role very well when I left. They were adding my job to a full-time employee with a full load of work. So their job from the contract work was going to get to another full-time employee that they would have to do along with their current work. Within 18 days, they posted an opening for my job again. I could not reapply because the company policies 18 months for a vendor contractor, followed by 6 months not working. A lot of people are feeling the pinch of not working. And then we hear the same thing, though. We hear help wanted signs. Yeah, there is a lot of help wanted signs, but some of those are pay that is not comparable to what other people are making now. So it's very rough. You take a pay cut, you're still going to be in trouble financially. I was at a grocery store yesterday, northern Wisconsin, and the teller and I were talking. She told me that the vendors have informed them that their prices are going way up in October. So take that for what it's worth. 2 weeks ago, I bought 4 pounds of thick sliced bacon for $11.84. Now the price is $22.84, so about a jump in price, doubling the price. I worked for Dart Containers for 30 years here in Oklahoma. They had just shut down one of their plants. So our plants will be taking over their orders. We have mandatory overtime and are hiring people to make up for this. This was a mass layoff. 125 employees were laid off. This person said they were at a grocery store and a ton of migrants were there, and it was very a hostile environment. I won't go into all the details, but they felt not safe with this going on. Germany, ruling party, has proposed a 3-year rent freeze to halt inflation. Like, that is going to work. So much more to report. Let me get into some good news before I end it. This person said, I've been clean for 16 years from heroin. This is a blessing. Every day is a battle, but I've won the battle with help of God and my support structure. Well done. 16 years free of heroin. Keep it up, please. This is another good news. I want to leave on some good news this week. And I checked the July statement for the school milk fund. We've talked about the school milk fund where they give kids milk during the day. And they manage this fund. The money is all private donations to provide milk to needy children. I was surprised to find over $6,200 in donations made directly to the bank. There were so many. I don't know who donated it, and I can't personally can't thank anyone. But this was great. They also said our church just did a collection of groceries for the local food pantry. There was so much donated, large paper bags filled to the top. The food pantry was so very surprised and grateful. Their shelves were almost empty. So there are still good people out there